Episode of Live with Brittnie in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. My name is Brittnie Bassan, President and CEO of Chamber South, and today I have with me Alex and Cesar from Synovus. We are so excited to have them here today. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Brittnie. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us on a Friday morning at Live with Brittnie.
Hey,
We're super excited to talk about all things. My God, I'm like moving my mic. We're super excited to talk about all things Synovus, and we're going to get to that. Perfect. But I want our audience to get to know you. I have the pleasure of knowing you both, but I want our audience to get to know you both a little bit better. So, both of you, you can take turns, but walk me through your personal and professional journey. Like, where were you born? Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? How did you get into banking? And throw in a fun fact.
Awesome. Go ahead, my brother. You start.
Okay. So, Cesar Villegas, wow, banking. I mean, I've loved banking from the very beginning. My background, I'm from Venezuela. So, I came when I was a year old from Venezuela.
1 year old?
1 year old. So, I came to the States in '86. Pretty much did all my... Yeah, that was pretty much
just told
born.
Everybody your age.
Yeah, so I was pretty much born, in Miami pretty much. Lived in Miami all my life. I went to school in the Hialeah area. Miami Lakes. I graduated from Barbara Goldman in 2003.
Okay.
2003. And when I was in high school, that's when my interest in banking, I've always liked the financial world, Wall Street, watching movies and watching different things. And then I had a friend of mine that started banking as a teller. And he was like, Cesar, you know what, man? When do you get into teller? I was working at Pizza at the time as a cashier at 18 years old.
Look
yes.
at
that. And he told me, why don't you try to just apply at a bank? And I was like, you know what, let me start looking. And I started going online, and I started applying, and I started looking, and then I actually applied at a local bank, Ocean Bank. That was my first bank starting in banking. I started as a teller there. I got hired.
Like right out of high school?
Right out of high school.
Oh,
right out of high school.
That's cool.
And then I started working at the Hialeah office at Ocean Bank, the one on 8th Ave. And I started working there, and I was there for about 3 years. And then at Ocean Bank, they saw a lot of interest in me, and they were like, Cesar, why don't you get into a program that we have for banking, which is a CFT program, which Connie Laguna actually runs that program.
Okay.
And they were like, why don't you get into that program? The program is really good for school, and it gives you more experience in the banking industry, in the banking world. And then I started showing some interest in it. And then when I was applying at other banks, another bank reached out to me. And obviously for a higher position, a different position. And I was like, you know what, let me apply and let me interview. And I interviewed, and then I got the position at the other bank. So I transitioned over to another bank. And then funny fact was that Connie Laguna also worked in that CFT program at that bank as well. And then obviously I always had that interest when I was at Ocean Bank. And I was like, you know what, this is just my time. I mean, if this bank had it, this other bank has it, you know what, I think this is my time to actually join the CFT program.
That's really cool.
And continue to develop my strength and develop my career goal in banking. And I did that. I have a business management certificate in banking, which actually improved my career path and my growth here at the bank. Been with Synovus for 6.5 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was at that bank. I was there for 8 years, by the way, at that other institution.
Oh, wow.
And I started there as a banker. Then I became a branch supervisor. And then now I'm here at Synovus as the retail market manager.
That's amazing. And, okay, so a couple of things. I actually... when I was very, very, very young, like I worked as a cashier at Publix.
Okay.
But briefly, I applied to work as a bank as a teller because I was in a relationship with this guy who was in the Air Force. And I was like, oh, that's something that can transfer. Like, there's banks all over the country. And so I could just be a teller wherever. And I actually didn't get the job, which is, as I'm sitting here, like, listening to you, I was like, oh, I remember when I applied to work as a teller and I didn't even get the job, which is great because I think my life was exactly where it needs to be. But it's so great to hear about industries and organizations because you invest, as an employee, you invest your time in this, in this organization that you're working for, especially because you were there, you were with one for 3, with one for 8, with one for 6, you're spending a lot of time with these companies, and to hear that they're investing back in you and they're giving you the skills and the training that you need to help further your career and go from having a job, because I would say you can start as a job and then how do you turn it into a career? So that's incredible. Fun fact.
So, fun fact, I love biking. I love mountain biking. I hit the trails.
Biking. I thought you said your fun fact was
biking.
I love banking. And I was
biking, mountain biking.
I think we established that you like banking.
Mountain biking.
That's what I heard too.
You heard biking too?
Okay.
I do love banking too, obviously.
I was
I mean,
Staying in subject. Staying in
I was
subject.
like, man, he is really
Committed.
he's here to promote Synovus and nothing else. Okay, so biking.
yes, biking, mountain biking. I hit the trails all the time.
Like we do live in Florida. I'm just gonna throw that out
Where
there.
do you do that at, man?
So
Yeah.
we go to the Western Park. We normally go to the Western Park. Sometimes I go to the Amelia Park and hit the trails.
Okay.
I actually went up to Georgia Blue Ridge and we
Okay.
took some biking over
There you
there.
go.
We did a
That's
lot of
a little bit,
biking.
yeah.
It was interesting. It was very nice. We hit the trails, we hit the mountains. It was very nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah.
What a great like hobby and activity because it gets you outside. It keeps
It
you
could get a little dangerous sometimes. You got to be
There you
very
go. You
careful.
got that adrenaline rush too.
You do.
That's
You do.
awesome.
You
That's so
do.
much fun. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. All right, Alex. Same questions.
My turn, I guess. Well, my story has a lot of similar points to Cesar. I was born in Cuba, not in Venezuela, but in another country. A little different in the sense that I made it out here when I was 16 years old, back in 2006, I believe. And I immediately started working for Burger King back then, right?
All right.
16 years old, that's the only job that allowed me to do. I was going to, right here around the corner, South Miami Senior High.
Okay.
Shout out to the Cobras.
There you go.
Just having a good time learning the language.
When you moved here, did you move here with your entire family?
No, I moved out here on my own first, and then my dad came later.
Oh,
my
wow.
mother, my two sisters stayed behind, and it took me 7 years to bring them once I became a U.S. citizen. So
Wow.
yeah, a little bit of separation there.
Wow. What a story.
Yeah, cool story. Then how did I fall into banking? Well, now I'm 18 years old, and one of those coincidences, right, in life, or the stuff that happens, I get asked at Burger King. I'm there already for 2 years, and the one time they send me to the bank, they give me the trust to go to the bank to take the deposit for a Saturday morning. The teller tells me, "Joe, we're looking for people." I was like super nervous, so asking 1,000 questions, and he's like, "Dude, you ask so many questions. You'll be a great fit for this job."
Wow.
I applied 3 months after I was working for the bank, and
That's
that's
amazing.
how the story happened.
Was it Synovus or a different bank?
No, it was a different bank, one
okay.
of the largest chains in the U.S.
Okay.
Started with my career with them in 2011, and I worked with them for a decade. Worked through
Wow.
many positions, and a lot of success there. So yeah, really, really happy. I went to I hit every school in the county. You could say I went to Miami-Dade College. I'm an alumni of the Padron campus.
Oh, wow.
Where I
Okay.
teach now, by the way.
You teach?
Yeah.
That can't be your
I
fun
didn't know you
fact.
teach. I didn't know you
Because,
teach
It's not my
there.
fun
I was
fact.
like, that can't be your fun fact, but oh my God, you
That's
teach?
news.
Yeah,
That's news to me.
it's-
Caesar is learning things over here too.
Yeah.
Full circle.
What
So
do
that
you teach?
entrepreneurship.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
So
okay.
I'm teaching a course now starting on June 19th called Funding Your Venture, where I'm going to teach, young folks how to get funding for the businesses.
Wow.
So is it like a financial literacy, Alex, that we normally do?
No,
for
it's like
different-
an actual class in the university. So
Oh, okay, great.
it's really cool. It's like going full circle, going from, Cuba as an immigrant at 16 to teaching in the college that I went to. It's incredible.
Wow,
That's
interesting.
amazing.
My fun fact, though, it's that I fight.
I knew this.
You knew
He's
this.
a fighter.
I
He's
knew
a fighter.
this.
He's
He's a good
big-
person to have with you.
I'm a fighter.
At all times.
I back in Cuba, right, from 12 to 15, I was a regional champion, you could say, in the sport of Taekwondo. So I used to do a lot of kicking. Then I came out here and I started working with the Fight Club, and I started doing a little bit of wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, and I got introduced to jiu-jitsu, which is my fun fact. I do jiu-jitsu with a Rights Jiu-Jitsu, shout out as well, and they're awesome, So I like to say that I do banking in the day and I break bones at night.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Hey, this guy has come sometimes with some black eyes and stuff,
like
and I'm like,
scratches
whoa.
everywhere. Actually, I have a dislocated shoulder right now. FYI.
Okay.
Hey, but share your stats and your position.
Good
as
to
a-
know.
as a-
I know. Like,
Oh,
tell
yeah,
us more about
I'm a
jiu-jitsu.
I'm a blue belt.
Where does blue fall in? Like, give us the.
Hierarchy. It's white. Then you get they call it a stripe system. So you get your belt, whatever color you have, then you have to earn 4 stripes before you get promoted to the next belt.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a blue belt, no stripes right now. So working towards it, but it's white, blue, purple, brown, and black.
Wow.
So I probably have another 8 years ahead of me to
Oh my gosh.
reach that pinnacle of the sport, but I'm committed to it.
And
so
you're
I'm
very committed, very dedicated. I know you go every single day almost.
every day. I
think.
go Monday through Friday, to class. Then Saturday, I'd visit another school for open mat, which is fight everybody on your own. And then Sunday, open mat at my school. So
Wow, that's
it's
incredible.
super fun.
What an interesting story, and what a true testament to the American dream that you are. I mean, absolutely, especially.
It's true on a life. That's the only thing I could say.
Yes, I moved here. Similar, so we're neighbors. Cesar, I'm from Trinidad. I was born and raised in Trinidad. I moved here when I was 14 years old, but I had a much easier time, I think, than you did, because I moved with my entire family. My parents, they were there and they took care of everything. And I mean,
doesn't make it any easier though. It's still a new country.
I mean, yes and no. I don't think I really fully appreciated that point in my life. I think now to my parents, and what they were probably going through, like just packing up their lives, like in their 40s and their 50s with 2 suitcases and moving to the United States for the promise or the chance at something better. We were really fortunate that our process was very easy. I mean, it wasn't, Trinidad's a much different place to move to the U.S. from than Cuba, of course, right? But yes, it's a true testament to the American dream, and I always say, people are like, "Oh, you're really lucky," or you have all of these things, and I think
no, it's the amount of work.
Luck is when hard work means opportunity, and I think that's a big case factor for you. You hard work. You really put in the time and the effort and the diligence that you needed, and then you had the opportunities presented to you, because you can have all the opportunities in the world, but if you're not prepared to receive them, then you're not going to get them.
The way I see it, the more I work, the luckier I get.
Exactly, right? Isn't that interesting
how
that turns out? All right, gentlemen. Okay, so now we're going to move into our second question, and I really absolutely love this question. What did you want to be when you were younger? I know, Cesar, you said that you always loved banking. I don't know if you were like the Monopoly banker when you played.
He was born with like a banking tie on.
That's it. That was it.
Were you the banker in Monopoly when you played Monopoly? Because that was me.
I was.
I just liked having control over money.
Yeah, same here. But actually, you know what? I actually wanted to get into firefighter. So I had a few of my buddies that ended up becoming firefighters after, and unfortunately, I didn't have the privilege to go to 6 months of the actual boot camp without getting paid or anything. I had to actually work because I had to help my parents out, help my mom out. So I had to juggle with both school and working at the same time.
Yeah.
So, and then I ended up just sticking to the banking once I got into banking. But I definitely want to be a firefighter prior to getting into the banking world.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think that shaped what you do today?
Honestly, I could tell you, I'm so passionate about what I do. Obviously, I'm sure Alex could vouch for me. I brought him into our team. And I saw the vision, I saw the drive, I saw his passion, and I saw himself in me, right? So when I gave him the opportunity, I told Alex, listen, this bank here, if you're chasing the dollar, this is probably not going to be the bank for you. But if you're chasing development, growth,
the opportunities,
you're going to have it here. Yeah. And I'm going to help you. Yeah. I'm going to help you.
Yeah. And I was thinking too, like firefighters. When you think about firefighters in that field, in that career, it's very team based. You have to you gotta trust that the person next to you has your back.
Absolutely.
It's like you gotta know what they're thinking. Yeah. And I'm a product of his branch and his leadership, so I could definitely vouch to that.
Appreciate it. And he came. And I saw the vision, and I saw the drive, and we got hired. We got Alex on the team, and he's doing an amazing job. I'm very proud of you. Yeah, and he's growing, and he's going to continue to grow. He's heading in the right direction. Couldn't be prouder. And everyone on my team that actually started when Alex came into our office is extremely proud of him as well.
That's awesome. That's so great. What about you, Alex? What did you want to be when you were younger?
I wanted to be a doctor.
You want to be a doctor?
Yeah. So
wow. Okay.
I guess another fun fact, right? I'm full of fun facts.
Alex is just like, I'll just talk fun facts all day.
When I was 7 years old, I almost lost my life. I got burned. This is something you don't know.
This is not a
I told
fun
you.
fact.
Yeah, it's not a fun fact.
Alex, we need to redefine your definition of the word fun.
It is a fun fact, and here's why.
He's alive. Hey.
I'm alive, and I got burned. Right, both of my legs got burned completely as a child, and I spent 3 or 4 months in the hospital. But through that experience, I noticed the empathy and the commitment that doctors had to their patients, right? They saved my life, treated my family well, all that stuff. So I grew up, wanting to become a doctor. Obviously, that later in life, I realized that wasn't the career path for me. The long hours, all that stuff.
It's tough.
But that's what I wanted to do with my life growing up. And when I went to FIU, I double major in biology just because I wanted to learn about the field, you know.
Oh, interesting.
So I carried that throughout my entire life, and it helped me in the banking world simply because, you know, I show a degree of care. I care for my
Empathy
clients.
is so important.
Yeah, he does.
I care for my clients. I try to listen. I try to understand. Listen, I'm the doctor of banking, right? You come in, you tell me your financial symptoms, and I try to come up with a solution. So it's very similar.
I like that. You should start saying that. I'm a doctor of banking.
Doctor of banking, yeah.
And that's really cool too. And we'll talk a little bit more about. We're going to get to the banking questions later in the show. But that's awesome because when you think about like the relationship between a customer and their banker. I mean, like, that's where your money goes. It's where like literally everything that you do, everything that you need goes into your bank. That's the safeguard and the gatekeeper for all of your, you know, assets and investments and the whole nine. So that's really important to make sure that you have someone who is empathetic, who understands, who cares about you as an individual and wants to help you make the best choices.
Right.
All right. So I have one more question before we start talking about banking, because we need to talk about banking. What are you most passionate about?
I am most passionate about my family, first of all. You know, I have a...
Say hi.
Hello. Hi, Alex and Valerie, and my wife, Anna. We are, you know, I have two children, two beautiful children, 8 and 9 years old, Alex and Valerie. My wife, who I met back in high school in South Miami, very passionate about them. But, you know, Hispanics, we're very, very family-oriented. I meet with my family to this day every weekend. We play Domino. Cesar knows this, right? We don't go out to restaurants. We do the stuff at home, right? The nitty and gritty. So I'm very passionate about that, very passionate about personal development too. I've noticed how that's helped me change my life.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of that stuff on my social media, LinkedIn and all that stuff. I try to be a good, positive message for the world. Well, I think it's very needed.
Yeah, no, and you're doing a great job, an amazing job.
What about you, Cesar?
So my passion is also very similar. Family. I'm very family oriented. I mean, I just got engaged about a year ago.
Congratulations!
I knew that.
We got engaged actually in Italy. We got engaged. So we're starting our family hopefully soon. You know, she already has a son, so now we're gonna, you know, obviously have a family together. And that's what we're working on. Passionate also about my mom, my family, my brothers, my siblings. We also meet. You know, we try to meet. My sister lives in Tampa. My brother lives up in Broward. But we try to meet at least once or twice a month as well. We get together at the house. We do barbecues. We get together. So definitely family. It's really I
think that's really important. And the fact that you both said that, because, you know, of course, when you're in this world and you're in the business world and you're trying to like achieve everything and hit all the highlights and hit all the benchmarks and then move on beyond that, it's hard, like that work-life balance, you know. So hearing you both say that you're passionate about your families makes me know that you're actively putting time aside for that and you know, giving that the importance that it deserves.
Everybody sees the highs, right?
Right.
But the family sees the lows.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
They help you carry through those.
They do. And it's important to make sure that your support system's strong there. And
for sure.
That it's solid. All right. So now it's time to talk about banking. We're halfway through the interview and I'm like, hi, let's talk about Synovus. Okay, so Synovus, tell me everything.
Okay, so I'll start on there.
Go ahead, you can start, and then I'll
So Synovus started with a simple act of kindness, right? We were founded in Columbus, Georgia, 1888, and the story goes, the story goes that, you know, we were operating a mill, and one of the mill workers got her dress tangled. When that happened, money fell out of her dress into the floor, spilled everywhere.
Right.
And the treasurer for the company, noticing that this lady had made pockets in her dress to save her money and keep it safe, offered to keep the money in the vault of the mill. Eventually, over time, they started doing the same thing for all the other mill workers. And that simple act of kindness, of caring, and paying interest on the money that this lady had, that's what led to the founding of Synovus. That's the story.
That's such a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's incredible. Okay, so
we carry those values to this day.
Oh, yeah.
That's core values are extremely important for an organization. Okay, so it started as this vault in a mill. Mm-hmm. Where was it? Where was the first?
Columbus, Georgia.
Okay, so it started in Columbus, Georgia. And now, tell me where you are today.
So we're in 5 different states. Mm-hmm. And we have about 249 offices within our footprint, and we're growing.
And you're on the East Coast?
We're on the East Coast,
Okay, awesome.
And we actually just opened up a new office up in the Las Olas area as well.
Okay, wonderful.
So we're growing.
How many branches do you have, I guess, like, let's say like Miami-Dade and Broward? Or like, how spread out do you think it is there?
9.
So we have go ahead.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Give me that right away.
we have 9 here. You know, in key cities, Doral, which I manage. Then this area of South Miami, we have Pinecrest, Cesar Alberto Road,
Right.
Coral Gables. You know, we have Hialeah, Biscayne, North Miami, Fort Lauderdale. You know, all over town.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's a large organization. I mean,
Yeah.
like, what's your? We were talking about it earlier. Give me the numbers.
Yeah, over $62 billion in assets.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So, and that's huge. I mean, that's big to me. But you look at some of like our like you were saying, national chain banks, right? And so you have like the big players in the country and across the globe. And I think a lot of times when people talk about banking, they feel safer for whatever reason with like a larger, more well-established bank, and they also think that some of the smaller community banks don't have necessarily the same sort of resources or technology or those things. And we can talk about, I want you to talk about that and what you guys offer to your clients, both business and personal. But I also do want to say too that the banking industry was kind of shaken up a little bit, especially business-wise during COVID, during PPP funding, because I think everyone was leaving the larger chains and going to the community banks because you were no longer just an account number, you were a name and a person, and you had your doctor of banking taking care of you and helping you with PPP loans and all of those things. And so let's chat a little bit about that. Like why should you consider a community bank, as whether it's an individual or a business?
So I guess I'll chime in there, Alex. I can tell you that here at Synovus, we cater more to the client, right? We have that personalized service.
Right.
So if you're looking to bank at a bank, obviously you go to our bigger institutions. If you're looking to bank with a banker, you come pay us a visit at Synovus. Why? Because we give that personalized service, right? We give you that personalized touch. You could call us with just a phone call
away. You have the cell phone numbers of your bankers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, no, it's true. Believe me, I know. I mean, I know Chamber South, we bank with a local community bank, one of our members too, and I know what that's like, where I had my banker calling me during COVID saying, I've reserved PPP funds for you, like, you need to fill this out. Yeah. You're not going to get that from a national chain.
From other institutions.
You won't.
And it's not to talk bad about others.
No,
and it's hard, right? Because I'm like, always at the Chamber of Commerce, I'm like, not to knock the big guys, but like my job is to look out for like the local community, the ones that are really like here, sitting with me in the studio chatting about all things banking. Like that's my job, is to make sure that I'm promoting our local businesses.
Right.
It's a matter of who they cater to, right? Larger banking institutions, they have things that maybe we don't have, right?
Right.
The branch in every corner, the super high tech online banking, digital. Do everything on your mobile, that type of stuff, right? But what they miss sometimes is the proximity to the client,
right?
Because they don't have the capacity, because they're in every corner. Right. They have so many clients, and everybody's on there at all times, so you gotta wait 2 hours in line. Yeah. Here's just like you said, on my business card, you get my cell phone.
Yeah.
Right.
You get proximity to me. You could call me at any time. I'm always accessible. You get the advice, guidance, and education that comes with having a relationship. So I think that's what makes the difference.
That's incredible. And I think really community banks have like kept up with the technology.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's incredible, because again, that's what people think. They're like, oh, I can't do mobile deposit.
Oh,
I can't do this.
Not at all. Not at all.
We have all the bells and
You're
whistles
cutting
as well.
edge with that stuff as well.
Synovus, I cannot speak about every other community bank, but Synovus, we are a full-service banking institution.
Yes.
We have every single tool that any other large competitors in the country offer. Every single one of them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's important to say, because I think people don't really know or recognize that, or they're really like misinformed. They think, okay, it's smaller. Then have the same
maybe you
services.
have to do everything on like tickets or like send stuff by mail. No. You could do everything the same way you would do it in any other financial institution right now.
So let's talk about some of like the incentives and promotions. Again, of course, Chamber South, we have a predominantly small business audience, but we've got everybody. We've got small business owners, we've got individuals who have just been looking for a new place to bank with. So tell me about some of the incentives, promotions, things why should someone make the switch to Synovus?
So I can tell you right now, we carried out our new promotion that we have right now, which is a CD, a certificate of deposit,
right?
Which is good for reserve money, it's for savings.
Yeah.
For money that you're not going to touch.
Yeah, if you're not touching the money, you might as well make some interest and make some money.
Make more than like what, like the 0.001.
0.001. Yeah. So right now we're offering.
What's your rates?
So we're offering right now 5% for 5 months, or 5% for 13 months, and 5% for 17 months.
Wow.
That's what we're offering right now.
Catering to the time horizon that you have.
Right. That's incredible.
And that also applies to business and consumers.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. What are are there any other promotions or incentives that you guys have?
Let's say that it's not a promotion, it's something that we always have going on, but we do a lot of business lending, which is primarily the audience for this program, we are out and about in the community, touching the businesses, seeing the operation, and trying to helping them out. Whether that's cash flow lending, whether they want to acquire the building that they occupy, whether they need equipment to run their business. We do every type of lending.
Owner occupied as well.
Yeah.
Like if you own a facilities and you want to take money out to continue to grow or potential for a
So
new
lending,
opportunity.
the way we see it, it's always a promotion because we are lending.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I know that we've had some members, I think, that recently came to you guys for those
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that we were talking about one, but that was struggling, that could not really went to some of the larger banks and wasn't getting the response that they
And
needed.
that's exactly the
And then
story.
They came
That's
to you.
exactly the story. And in the span of 2 weeks, we're already way deep into the process.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because in being able to have that, it's so important, especially for a small business, even for an individual consumer, to use your words.
Right.
That's so important to have that relationship with your bank.
Absolutely.
When you don't have a lot of hands touching what you're doing, things flow a lot faster.
Yeah.
Because the way this works is that we have the client.
It's direct.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have the client, they have me, and then I have my support team in back office.
Right.
That's the only parties involved in this. So things go a lot faster.
So it's not like you're going to get sidetracked or you're going to get sent to customer service.
We're going to refer you to the cloud and somebody will call you.
You're running from A to Z through the whole process.
Right. Yeah.
That's incredible. That's so, like I said, that's so important to have in your banker. And of course, we've got tons of amazing banks out there. But if you're looking to switch, or you're looking for a new business banking account or personal checking account, please reach out to our friends over here at Synovus. I'm sure
We'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
Yes, they'll be able. How would they get in contact with you? I'm not saying to give your cell phone number out on the show, even though I feel like every time I say, how can someone get in contact with you? That's exactly what happens. People just spat out their cell phone numbers. But how would someone get in contact with you?
Synovus.com.
Okay.
That will be the place to start. And they could also quick Google search Synovus at Doral and Synovus at the Road. And you'll see Synovus near me, and you'll find a close location to you and great associates to help you out.
Awesome. And then if you guys can also reach out to us at Chamber South, we'll be happy to connect you with Alex and Cesar.
Absolutely.
As well.
There you go.
For sure.
I feel like this show has flown by. I could keep talking with you guys for another half an hour.
Been amazing, by the way.
But
Yeah,
I
it
know.
has.
It's been a lot of fun. Very, very, very good, lively conversation. Learned so much about Alex.
Oh, you don't know. You
Yeah, I
don't
know. You've got some stuff, man. Yeah, there was some new stuff that I didn't know about you, man. Wow, that's
Even
awesome.
Cesar's learning things, and he's been
Yeah, I
working
know.
with you.
I know. I guess my story's not so exciting, man.
No, it is, right?
Mountain
It is.
biking. Mountain biking, absolutely. But we're going to wrap it up. We've only got a couple of minutes left. And so the question that I always wrap it up with is, what's the best advice you've ever received? And what advice would you like to leave our audience with today? It could be the same. I think sometimes it's different, but you let me know.
Oh, Alex, you good?
Me? All right. Best piece of advice that I've ever gotten was that life is a giver's game. So if you're generous, things just come back to you, right?
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey, who is a mentor, right, to me.
Right.
Because I watch his show all the time, and he said that generous people are highly attractive because if you concentrate on giving,
Yeah.
by default, you get stuff back, right? It's that
That's right.
reciprocity principle.
Yeah.
People are attracted to you because you are wanting to give to them.
Absolutely.
So best piece of advice I've ever gotten.
And giving can look, I just want to remind people, giving can look, can be seen in different ways. Like people always think
yeah.
giving,
No, it's your
be giving of
time.
your time,
Yeah.
be giving of your attention, be giving of your advice, be giving of everything.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
being
Giving as a
kind
whole.
and being generous to others.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, and I could definitely piggyback on what Alex said. Is definitely giving and being passionate about it too, right?
Yeah.
You have to be passionate of what you do. You have to, be genuine as well in your delivery as well. So it's all about being passionate, having that drive, and making sure that especially with clients, especially that we're dealing with clients on a daily basis, is having that passion and having that companion with the clients.
Follow your passion, because then when it gets hard, you stick to it, right?
Yes,
That's right.
yes. I tell people all the time, find what you're passionate about and pursue it.
And pursue it. And pursue it.
In some way, shape, or form, whether it's personally, professionally, find a way to incorporate the things that you're passionate about into your life. And, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to wake up every single morning being happy with the life that you've curated. And if your daily life or your weekly life involves your passions and the things that you're excited about, then you'll find that happiness. So
Absolutely.
be generous, be passionate. Reach out to our friends at Synovus if you're looking for a new bank. And that's been our Live with Brittnie show this Friday morning. Thank you again, gentlemen, for joining us. This has been Live with Brittnie. If you would like to be featured on our show, you can reach out to us at Chamber South, 305-661-1621, or info@chambersouth.com. Thank you again to our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers for